welcome to another biking video on doing stuff and filming it. I'm out for a bit of a bumble today on the old Lifan King, the 125. Not really planning on going anywhere, just fancied a bit of a ride out, bit of a bumble around. Let's see where we end up, shall we? Right, well, hopefully this works. I'm trying out a new microphone setup with the microphone inside my helmet. I tried it in the house, just walking back with my helmet and the microphone in there. Worked a lot better than I thought it would. I thought it was going to be crap. Hopefully the helmet is doing a good job of keeping the wind noise out, and all you can really hear is the bike and my voice. I suppose I'll find out when I get home and run it through the video editor. It might all be shit and you might never watch this, but there we go. Previous attempts at recording ride footage have either resulted in crap footage or completely unusable footage. Yeah, that's about it. Now, I was trying to think of something to talk about whilst we're riding around. Really think of all, stuff going on at work. Yeah, I don't really like to talk about work online, it just invites trouble. I do work for a tech company, so no doubt they're watching out for stuff like that. Talk about the fact that we've just had a general election called. Well, the time of filming it was called yesterday. By the time you get to watch this, if you get to watch it, I don't know when, we might have already had the election. Depends how long I procrastinate over the editing. Or if we want to talk about the weather, or talk about progress on making the bikes. I'm going to talk about anything. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Those of you who have followed my biking series will notice there's something missing from the front of the bike. Yeah, I've lost the screen. Literally about 10 minutes before I started filming. What happened was I wheeled the bike around the front of the house, put it on its kickstand, as I've done hundreds of times before. Went back inside to get my gloves and helmets and to lock up the house and everything. Came back outside and the bike's on its side. Well, it wasn't fully on its side. It'd fallen against a pile of paving slabs that I'd parked it next to. What the fuck has happened here? I don't fully understand how it's happened. It's not windy at all. It's quite a calm day. I've parked it in that exact spot, like I say, hundreds of times before. But still, the bike somehow found a way to fall over. Whatever. Fortunately, the only damage was to the screen. It's landed on those paving slabs on its screen, and that's like just cracked and shattered. So I've taken it off because I couldn't go out riding with it. It'd have been flapping around and firing bits of sharp plastic at me. And so we're riding without the screen now, which is a bit disappointing, but never mind. All the other damage, there's a slight bend on the bottom of the tank. But if I'm honest, you wouldn't notice it unless I pointed it out to you. And also, this rev counter here has been bent inwards slightly, so it's at a bit of a funny angle now. I'll see if I can bend that out later. Other than that, though, she has survived, which is good. Why are we going so slowly, Joseph? 125, I should not be catching up to you. So yeah, no screen. A bit disappointed. It was quite a bit of money, that screen, like 50 quid. Not sure I can get another one. I'm fairly sure that was the last one that my supplier had, and I haven't seen any others for sale since. So this bike may now be gone without a screen. Since I fitted it, I was never 100% sure that I liked it, and I suppose the decision's been made for me now. Yeah, it was just a bit too big for the bike. A couple of people did remark it looked a little silly. I liked it, mostly, but yeah, it did make the bike a lot more comfortable to ride. Although, I'm riding it now and I can't really tell the difference. Oh, let's go down here. Cross the River Great Ouse. Oh, hello. Someone's happy. Right. And you know what, we're going to go down here. Slow speed Bumble. So yeah, the decision's made for me. No more screen on the bike. I don't really think I'll get another one. If I do, it won't be the same. It'll be a smaller one. Third party one, but I'm not that bothered really. Main thing that bothers me is it cost money. This is bumpy as fuck down here. Bought my lawnmower from a chap down here. Good mower. Briggs and Stratton motor. It'll fucking demolish anything. I think I ran it over a tin of paint once and it just ate it. Yeah, there he is. Fenland Spirit Services. Yeah. Need a mower fixed? Need a new mower? Well, I don't think they do new mowers, but second-hand, reconditioned mowers. Ride on, push along, self-propelled. Brilliant. Anyway, back to the screen. Yeah, it's gone. It has to be said, though, it has made a bit of a difference to the way this bike handles. It feels lighter. It's not like it weighed anything, it was just a big piece of plastic. But it does feel lighter to handle. When I was doing some low-speed turns out the end of the driveway and everything, the handlebars just felt so much lighter. Cheap. I can only surmise that because it was so massive for the size of bike, that even at low speed there was enough wind resistance to affect how the handlebars feel. But yeah, it's gone. Bit of money lost, I suppose. Quite a bit of time. It was a bit of a ball ache to fit, but never mind. So, where are we going here? I can't really remember the name of this road. A bit further along it can barely be called a road, but the river is to our right. To our left is a fuck ton of farmland. But in a few miles further down here, we get to Denver Sluice Gate. Now, anyone who knows a bit about the Fens, and if you don't, just Google it, it's all well below sea level. My house driveway, I checked on the sat-nav and it said my elevation was -4 meters once, which gave me mixed feelings. That's yes. Oh, mini for sale. And here, as you can see, the road is getting gradually narrower. But yeah, Denver Sluice Gate. So, because this whole area is below sea level, it has to be constantly pumped out, or the sea would reclaim it, really quite quickly as well. If it ever happened, it would be a major fucking environmental disaster, like on a scale Britain hasn't seen before in all likelihood. Not to mention, the vast majority of Britain's food, potatoes, cereals, all that sort of thing, comes from this part of the country. Given that food prices are already skyrocketing thanks to the war in Ukraine, that's something we should probably avoid. And we have been avoiding it for several hundred years, in fact. What it means is, along a lot of the rivers, you have these sluice gates, which are used to control the level of the water in conjunction with the tides. Because, of course, when the tide comes in, that is when the floods would normally happen. And unless you know a chap with a really big boat and 2 of every animal, we're going to be in bother. So I've never actually seen one opening and closing. I don't think it happens all that often. I think it's only at like very high tide that they actually have to do it. But they are there. And this one that we're going to is massive. It's, I'd say it's the biggest one I know of. It may not be the biggest, but it's the biggest one I can think of. It's down here. Got to go steady down here because it's, like I say, getting increasingly narrow. I'd call this a single track road now, or near enough. And you get lots of gravel, and of course lots of dickheads driving way too fast. Now, I've visited the Denver Sluice Gate before, on this very bike actually, back when I first got it, or not long after I first got it. And if you follow me on Instagram, doing stuff and filming it, there's pictures of the bike on there. I believe I went there around about sunset last time. It's about 4 o'clock in late May, so we're not going to see any sunsets on this trip. There we go. But yeah, there's a nice little pub by the river, and of course you can view the sluice gate. You can walk across it, and there's a nice little picnic area. I haven't brought a picnic with me or even a drink, but we can have a stop and a walk around. Abandoned farmhouse there. I keep wondering if I should try and get into urban exploration, but it's just another hobby that I just won't have time for. I do like watching videos of it on YouTube occasionally, especially when it's quite an interesting building they're going to. But I'll probably never do it. Let's just go down here. I'm trying to remember the last time I came down here. Probably was about 2 years ago. Back not long after I got this bike. Which was not long after I got my CBT. Whilst I'm not really going any faster now than I was back then, I just feel better. Been riding a fair bit longer, obviously. Now I've got my full licence. I still really like this bike. Like I said, when I introduced to the Virago, I have no plans on getting rid of it. I'm going to keep working on it. It's going to be a sweet little bike one day. But I just really fancied a Bumble. And on roads like this, you don't need a big, powerful bike. If anything, you're better off on a small one like this. As you'll see further along, power becomes your enemy. Plus, this is what I want to get out of biking. There are some people who I am friends with, you know, I don't begrudge them, who they just want to go as fast as fucking possible. You know, they're into their fucking R1s and their boosters, and don't get me wrong, they're very nice bikes. And if I ever had a booster, steady down here, if I ever had a booster, I'm sure I'd be perfectly fucking happy with it. I think it's a gorgeous bike, and sports bikes don't really do it for me. I'm just like, nah, not bothered. But I do like the booster. But yeah, I don't think I'd ever choose to buy one. And I'm not all that interested in going really fast. I like to explore. It's about the journey. Some people would say it's about the journey, not the destination, but I mean, today is kind of a bit about the destination. There you go, there's a pumping station. A new 10-mile pumping station. And they are dotted around all over the fens. You'll see them next to rivers and all sorts. And what that's doing is pumping water out of the fields to the left, out of all the ditches and dikes, and up into the river to my right, which, as you can see, is way above us. don't know how high that is. That's at least the first story of a house above us is that river. And all the rivers around the fens are like that. It's just how they are. Have been, like I say, for hundreds of years. Oh, tractor. Oh, right. Oh, that does happen down here. We'll just go over onto the grass and let him through. Right. At least it was something we could just deal with quite easily. Not an Audi doing 65. Yeah, here we go, look. Gravel in the middle of the road. It's not as bad as it has been when I've been down here in the past. Here we go, look at a car coming. Beware damaged road. You don't fucking say. What we'll do is we'll give way in here. Just like that. Cheers. Now, there was a tractor coming, so yeah, we'll just go up on the grass again. Let him through. There we go, fella. Whoop. Whoop. Yeah. I could drive a tractor. Maybe I should give up biking and go with tractors. Not big bastards like that. Too expensive. Like classic tractors that you sit on top of.
Hell yeah! I have the power of God!
I think that'd be quite cool. Fuck. Ooh, Jesus. Bloody hell, there's new build houses down here. How has that happened? There was a church as well. How have I missed that? Didn't know there was a church down here. There's new build houses even down here. Is there anywhere where they're not fucking sticking houses? I know they need to be built. We do have a housing shortage. Although I don't think it's as bad as people make out. But it does seem like fucking everywhere you go, there's houses being built, and they're all the same. It's like they went to a big housing supermarket and just said, 1 million of your cheapest houses, please, and that's it. And they're all exactly the same, like they come off a fucking production line. Anyway, change the subject. The camera. It's on a chest mount. Not bad for a few quid off eBay. I think I mentioned that in a different video, which may or may not come out before or after this one. There we go. But yeah, I think it was like £3 and some change off eBay. Does the job. Mount the camera to it. I was looking for a chin mount, but I just couldn't find one that really worked with my helmet. The helmet doesn't have that option built in, and there was nothing on the accessories either for it. So the only option was one that sort of had straps, but then it meant that I couldn't close the visor properly. So I'd be driving along having to do the safety squint, or riding along rather. So, oh, missed opportunity there. I should have revved it through that little tunnel. We'll do it on the way back. You must be sweating in that, mate. Big bloody puffy bomber jacket. And he's cycling along at a reasonable pace. Had all his bloody lycra on underneath it. Whatever. But yeah, so that's on a chest mount because the chin mount just wasn't practical. Maybe in the future, if people like this sort of content, I might invest in another helmet. They're not fucking cheap though. And then the microphone is the same wired microphone I've used in many a previous video, but I've managed to get it tucked up inside the helmet, and it's sort of just below my chin. Oh, fuck. And hopefully it's working. This is what I wanted out of biking. Didn't want to go fast, just bumbling along, enjoying this scenery. This is ace. How fast am I going? About 30 mile an hour. A little bit faster down here. Yeah, just enjoying the scenery, talking to myself. And I am happy as a pig in shit right now. No cars behind me, which is nice. Mind you, it's a weekday. People are still at work. For me, it's kind of like my Sunday, because the way my shifts work, I work nearly every Saturday. Never work Sundays. But my employer gives me 2 days off during the week. Today's day 2. So all day it's been feeling like a Sunday. There's the sluice gate right there in front of us. All these boats moored up outside. Well, that's one of the sluice gates. Ooh, look at that. Very nice. This is the pub. It's got a lot of fencing around it. I'll have to have a poke at that. Come on, 125. Up you go. There we go. Over the top. And you know what? We'll park in here and get a couple of pictures. Ooh, fuck. Slippery gravel. Oh, right, let's have a look around. So here we are at Denver Sluice Gate. First thing that struck me as we were pulling up, this is a rather disappointing sight. This used to be a lovely mosaic, and it was a sort of picture / map of the area, of the gates. And it hasn't been vandalised. I think what's happened is the bit of wood, the backing board that it's all attached to, has rotten. I can literally just put my finger through it, and then all the bits have fallen off, and it's in a bit of a sorry state now. It's a bit disappointing. It was really very detailed and colourful. Right, let's see if we can get down a bit closer. Now, I was saying that this operation to drain the fens has been going on for hundreds of years. Here is 4 examples of just how long that has been. So this top plaque reads, Denver Sluice. This plaque commemorates the refurbishment of the historic Denver Sluice. The works were duly declared completed and recommissioned by John Martin CBE MA, Chairman of the Great Ooze Local Drainage Committee, on Friday the 12th of June 1987. And then the plaque below it reads, original timber from Sir John Rennie's reconstruction of Denver Sluice in 1834. So yeah, that's a very old bit of wood sitting right there. Yeah, they were removed in 1986. It formed part of the upper pointings to the tidal doors. Coming over to the right, post box. And notice at the top though it says VR Victoria Royal. So yeah, very fucking old. And then the last one, this 4th one, next to this gigantic red wheelie bin. 350 years of flood alleviation in the fens, begun by Cornelius Vermuyden with the old and new Bedford rivers. So yeah, 350 fucking years there's been a sluice gate here. Right, I'm going to go out onto the bridge now. There we have an exact date. I won't read this whole thing out, but I'll take a picture if anyone wants to see it. Yeah, the first sluice at Denver constructed
by Vermuyden, no doubt I'm getting that wrong, in 1651. So there's your answer, that's how old this place is. That's a bit of a better view. The river is flowing away from us down there. This building here, I'm assuming, is some sort of control hut. I think that it's labelled as a lock hut, but presumably it controls the sluice gates as well. But yeah, this first section here isn't just a gate, it's actually a lock. The same as what you would find on canals. It allows boats to go up and down the river. And then the rest of it is sluice gates. The very far one I don't believe is in use, looking at it. But yeah, I'm going to go along the river, even though it gives me the heebie-jeebies, and we'll have a bit of a look over the side. I'm sort of stood up on a wall here, and this is probably the best view we're going to get of it. Here we go, a bit of a better view of the actual gates. You can see them down there, those things with the chains on them. Those are the gates. There's 3 sets of 2 as you go along. They're all open at the moment. As you can see, the water just sort of flows freely through. I don't really know enough about this, and I feel bad because I really should, especially if I'm going to be making videos about it, but I don't know, I should probably look up how it works before chatting about it, but it's pretty impressive up here. But yeah, that's the lock on the end where we just were. You'll notice water doesn't flow out of that because that is a solid gate in there. It's designed to, you know, fill with water. The boat goes into it and then it lowers it down. That's how locks work. But these seem to be permanently open. And then there's this one over here, which I honestly don't think has been open in a very long time. I'll have a peer over the edge. Yes, it's got foliage growing in it. And that is chock full of silt. Also, that gate at the front is concrete. All this metal structure around here is just rusted and seized and obviously very old. So I don't think there's been a gate here for quite some time. Maybe it was determined that it wasn't needed. Maybe that will change at some point in the future. Who knows? But yeah, that's just full of silt, and then of course stuff has started to grow in it. You can bet your ass though that if you stand on that, you are not coming back out alive, if at all. I mean, let's go over this other side and I'll show you. Yeah, that corner, see how it dips down? My guess is every now and then this does get water in it, and that just happens to be the place where it drains out. So yeah, I bet this land here, if you can call it that, isn't going to be solid. You stand on that, you're just going to sink and you're done. Yeah, it's giving me the heebie-jeebies just standing here. Let's go look at the other side. These black uprights, if we look down there, nice shiny stainless steel gates which look relatively new. And yeah, you can see down there there's a motor which drives it, and then there's the screws on top right there that must move it up and down. Right, I think we've seen all we're going to see here. I did want to go down there. You used to be able to the last time. You could go and sit on that bench that you can see in the distance, but the gate's been locked now and there's a sign saying authorised persons only. A bit disappointing. Yeah, right, we're going to go for a quick ride around the corner and we'll go look at the other gate, which is behind that house. Just going to park the bike in the bike shed, seems reasonable to me. I've just remembered there's a third gate right over there, over by those trees, just behind it. Not really going to have time to go over there and look at that one today. I mean, if people like this video and they're interested, I will come back and do some research and we'll have a proper look around. I do like it out here, it's very peaceful. I mean, the only noise, I don't know if you can hear it, apart from me talking, is the wind blowing in this massive tree over here. That is a fucking huge tree. Not sure what this thing is here. Obviously some sort of crank. It looks like you crank it and something used to turn and went through that little hole in the wall. So I wonder if it used to have a chain on it, or you put a rope on it and it was used to haul boats in and out of the water, which is just down there. In fact, I'll come around and show you. Yeah, like you can see how the hole is worn as well. I reckon that's had chains running through it for quite some time. and that was used to crank them in and out. Nowadays you would just back a 4x4 down here and, with a trailer, and just drive it out, but yeah. There's the other gate I was talking about. Make his way over towards it. It's the same size, if not bigger, than the last one we were at. It's not called the Denver Sluice Gate, as far as I know. I think it has a different name, although this whole area, I suppose you could say, is like the Denver Sluice Gate complex. Oh look, there's a man going inside. I wonder what he's going to do. Oh well, that's a bit disappointing. I saw the man, he came back out of that far tower with a like big yellow control board in his hand, plugged it into something, and then stuff started buzzing. I thought, oh, he's opening a gate, how cool is this? And so I came rushing up here, and yeah, whatever he was doing, it hasn't opened anything, so I don't know what's going on. Imagine if you just opened one of these gates, serious shit would be happening, so they probably don't do that very often, if at all. But yeah, this is the other gate, somewhat different to the first one we came to. There's no lock here as far as I can tell, and it's obviously much newer, just looking at it. I mean, it's not new, but it's newer. There's some serious fucking engineering here. Just looking at those chains that lift those gates up. I mean, I do wonder what would happen if you just pulled one up. Probably a massive fucking flood of water downstream. Probably flood half of East Anglia. Yeah, don't do that. These here look to me like spare gates, which is interesting. Each one probably weighs several tons, all different sizes. On their own, none of them look big enough for use on any of these sluice gates, unless they attach together somehow. They're sitting there, they don't even look that old either. Oh, I have just seen a sign further down as well. This is called the Denver Complex. Over the road there, the building on the right is an office, and the building on the left is just a bungalow. I wonder if you work for the Environment Agency, you get to live there maybe. Or maybe it's just privately owned, and you know, maybe there used to be a lock keeper or a gatekeeper that lived there. Who knows? Again, I need to do some research into this. Right, I'm going to have a quick peer at that bridge there, see if there's anything to see, and then I'm going to head back to the bike and we're going to go look and see if we can figure out what's happened to that pub. I think it's closed down. Right, so all that can be seen from the bridge is that other gate that I told you about. I'm not really going to have time to go and look at that, but I've pretty much made up my mind. I'd need to do some proper research into this complex and come out and do a proper video, proper exploration of it, because I'm not really doing it justice here. Yeah, right, back to the bike, and we'll nip round to that pub. It looked like its car park was still accessible, but the rest of it was fenced off. See if we can see what's happened to it. I reckon it's probably just closed down. We are really isolated out here, and it's difficult to keep a business like a pub going when you're as isolated as this place is. Alright, Jennings Arms. I'm shooting this on my phone because I'm trying to save the battery on the camera, because like an idiot I didn't bring a spare battery with me. Yeah, it's closed. I was hoping to have a sit by the river in their beer garden. Just having a look around. I had a peer in through a couple of the windows. Have a look in here. You can't see it on the camera, but I can see with my eyes. It's empty. It's not in too bad of a state either. So I get the feeling it's closed fairly recently. That building over there, I assume, is some sort of accommodation, like you could stay here, like a bed and breakfast type thing. If we come round, it's had that monstrosity built. It's a set of 4 security cameras, but if the place was just closed down and abandoned, why would you bother? As you can see, you used to have access from the waterfront, but they've put barriers up there. Granted, it's just yellow tape, but still. There's no sign that anyone lives here like a landlord anymore. So hopefully it reopens. This place is pretty nice. Right, I just climbed up to the top of this riverbank to get a good look. And yeah, there's the pub. Now, even if I zoom in, you probably can't see through the windows, but I can. And it's empty. There's not a single piece of furniture in it. And I looked through some of the windows downstairs, and even like the bar stools and the tables are gone. So obviously it's been empty for at least a little while. It's been stripped out. Yeah, hopefully it can come back. Obviously someone has some interest in it because they've set up to guard it, but I don't know. Maybe it's just another pub that's gone. Hopefully someone, a brewery or some entrepreneurial individuals will be able to bring her back. It's always sad when something like this happens. We'll go have a look down there, see if we can have a peek through. But after that, I'm going home. There we go, I've managed to get around the front of it. Again, not much to see. I had to peer through a couple more windows. So there's a function room, which is this bit that we're looking at now. And it's just completely bare. There's not a single piece of furniture inside. I'm assuming something is going on with it. I'll look, see if they've got a website or a Facebook page when I get home. Hopefully it can come back. Doesn't look like it's been abandoned for too long either. And this sort of patio area here that we're looking at isn't too badly overgrown. Not in too much disrepair. This fencing looks reasonably new. So something, hopefully, is going to bring it back. Yeah. Right. Home time. Alrighty then. Homeward bound. Hopefully the battery lasts until I get home. If it suddenly cuts out whilst I'm mid-ramble, I apologise. Yeah, it's definitely clipped in properly as well. I'm going to go back the way I came. If I keep going the way that I was, over the sluice gate and down that road, past the picnic area and everything, it brings you out in the village of Denver. You know, that's what the gate is named after. It's a lovely little village. It's, you know, nice like little church. There's a pub or two. Fellow motorcyclist. Hello. Oh, okay. But once I get there, the only sort of way back is back the way I came. Yeah, I was moving over for you, mate. You don't have to fucking point. What do you think I was going to do? Just ride into you? Fucking boomers. The only way back from there is either to come back the way I came, like I'm doing now, or head out onto the A10. And the A10, I mean, it's fine. I've ridden up and down it plenty of times, but it's a bit boring. You know, it's a 60 mile an hour, so I'm going to be wringing the neck of my little 125, and it's 5:45 now. So, tail end of the rush hour, knobheads doing stupid shit like overtaking when they really shouldn't, and I just can't be fucked with it. I'd much rather bumble along down somewhere like this again and have a one-way conversation with you all. Sounding more American by the day. Again, might have to dump the fiancée. So we'll go back down this way. I suppose at least you're getting a different perspective. You might see something that I couldn't point out last time. The river is now over to my left, and the farmland is over to the right. Seems to be more potholes. Oh, fuck! Oh, Jesus! Seems to be more potholes on this side of the road. Can't ride in the middle because of all this shit that's everywhere. Interesting. Just past that guy who had the in-ground trampoline. He just got chickens and roosters running around. There's a trampoline for the chickens. Something I think it would be quite hilarious to see. Down here. I sort of stopped and stared at my bike whilst I was up on that riverbank as well. I think it does look better without the screen. Yeah, I'm not going to order another one. Also, it has to be said, I fucking love the look of this bike. I have to say, I love it just as much as my Virago.
Now, at first glance, they're just two cruiser-style bikes, but the more you look at them, the more different they actually are. And this bike definitely has the air of the Explorer about it. Definitely better suited for this sort of riding. I mean, I'm sure the Virago would do perfectly fine down here, but this bike is definitely more suited to it. It's more comfortable at this sort of speed. Not that the Virago can't do this sort of speed and wouldn't be perfectly comfortable, but I have a feeling this is what it was made for. I could easily be riding this in rural China right now. The few times when the road is above the river, don't worry, we'll soon dip back down below it. Concealed farm entrance. There it is. Let's go down here. Oh, car coming. Oh. There we go, we'll slow it down. Luckily we met him at a nice wide spot. He was happy to slow down and move over. Good man! Right. Oh, they're going green for us as well. So we'll just bumble on through. I love the noise this bike makes. These sorts of speeds of mid and low revs for it. Oh, that's a bit bouncy. Probably won't see it on the camera, but there's a car bump stopped to the side of the road. It's like, someone was going a bit fast over these bumps, weren't they? So I've been following a channel for a little while now called Volcanic Brown. There's a chap who lives probably not too far from me. As far as I can tell, he lives out in the Lowestoft way. I can tell this by sort of looking at his... He films his rides, much like, oh, shut the bed. And that van was a bit surprised to see me. Yeah, he films his rides much like I'm doing now. And, you know, look at the road signs, and he seems to be out that way, sort of out on the coast. And he does very similar stuff to what I'm doing now as well. It's a bit of an inspiration for this video. He's got a number of old classic bikes, mainly Triumphs, I think. Probably got that wrong, it's probably BSA. If he ever watches this, he's probably going to fucking kill me now or something, hunt me down. Because I know he loves his bikes, he's extremely passionate about it. But yeah, his ethos towards biking seems to be very similar to mine in that he's no interest in going stupidly fast. This sort of riding like this is what he likes. I'm in total agreement. Just exploring interesting places, having a bumble, just, bumbling around. I don't actually have to really go anywhere. Yeah, I've tried leaving a comment or two on his videos saying, don't look like you're too far from me, do you want to meet up, we'll do a collaboration. But he hasn't responded, and there's no like direct contact on his channel, no like email, so he either hasn't seen it or doesn't want to. If you are watching this, Mr. Volcano, Mr. Brown I should say, I'm still open to the idea. I'd love to meet you, I'd love to see your collection of bikes. I'm up to 2, I think, as far as I can tell you're up to 20. Oh, there's a van. Oh, he's going in there. Good man. Oh, bogging down a bit now. I'm not changing gear. Cheers. Yeah, I'd love to see your collection of bikes. Maybe do a little ride out and show me some places. I can bring this if you like, or I can bring the Virago. And you're welcome to have a go on either of them. I think both would be maybe not right up your street, especially not this Chinese thing that I'm on. At least of some interest to you. Oh, right, we'll go in here. Slow down there. Yep, thank you very much. There we go. Seem to be meeting more traffic than I was on the way out. So yeah, if you fancy it, Mr. Volcanic, leave me a comment, send me an email. The email's listed on the channel information. Let's sort it out whilst it's still summer, shall we? I suppose that means I need to get this video out as quickly as I can as well, otherwise he's never going to fucking see it. Starts to widen a little further down here. Getting quite hungry now. Could just stop for some chips. I've been trying to force myself to save money. I've got food at home, and whilst this is the end of my weekend, it's my Sunday, even though it's Thursday, I'm not going to treat myself to a takeaway. I have spent thousands in my life on takeaways and little snacks, and can't be fucked to cook what I've got in the house, so I go out and buy more fucking food. I'd probably have a fucking booster if I hadn't spent all that money on shite. So I'm going to go straight home, make myself a sandwich. Then if there are any New Mexicans watching, that particular bit of pronunciation was for you. Chances are nobody else is going to get it. Felt like a bit of water there. Not felt, I didn't feel it with all this gear on. Something just hit my helmet. I suspect it was rain. Yeah, that's to that abandoned farmhouse. See, if I ever did get into urban exploration, some of the channels I follow go to like old factories and such like, and whilst they're interesting, I'd probably do it differently. There's a lot of abandoned houses out this way. They're probably abandoned for different reasons. That one looks like it's been abandoned for, I don't know, like 60 fucking years. Chances are the farm that it used to serve is no longer. It looks like it's suffering from some pretty substantial subsidence. There's a huge crack down the wall on one side. I'd be curious to see what's left inside it. Even just wallpaper or fixtures. Maybe there's furniture in there, or maybe there's even like someone's personal possessions in there. I don't plan on taking anything, but just to stand there and wonder, what was their story, the lives which were once here. It's intriguing to me. There is a house going out towards Chatteris. It's fucking miles from here, about an hour's drive. And even longer on this thing. And it's like painted yellow. Nobody's lived in it for 60 years. I once looked up the story of the couple that used to live there. They were moved in as a young married couple. I don't know what they did for a living, but they never had kids, to my knowledge. And they eventually moved out, and they've since passed away. But all their stuff is still in there. And there was a local newspaper, and one of their journalists decided to do some actual journalism for us, and managed to get access to it from the current owners, which I believe is a business like, or the Environment Agency or something like that. Or maybe completely wrong, it may actually be, the descendants of the original owners. I might be wrong about them never having kids. And there's still pots and pans in the kitchen. The big wood-fired Argus stove is still there. You go upstairs and the bed is still there. And that's absolutely fascinating to me. It's almost like frozen in time, Their life is over. But then there's this little time capsule that's left. Yeah. Anyway, you're probably suitably bored now with me just letting my thoughts stream out. There's one of the dickheads I was worried about going way too fast. Yeah, sometimes just because the limit is 60 doesn't mean you should get anywhere fucking near it. Classic Volvo there, it's always nice to see. It looks like the lawnmower ambulance has gone out on a call. That's that lawnmower place I was telling you about, and they've bought a decommissioned ambulance and done their own sign writing on it. It's basically a lawnmower ambulance now, which I think is quite funny. Right, just going to pause here for a moment. Stuart doing the edit here. I'm going to close this video off around about now. The rest of the footage is just of me riding home. I'm back out on the main road and I'm fairly shortly doing 60 mile an hour, and the sound is just terrible like it was at the start of the video. This was my first ever attempt at this sort of content, filming myself actually riding. I've got a lot to work on, I know, and yeah, the next one will be better, I promise. But for now, I didn't really have much left to say on the ride home, so we'll close it off there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching this video on doing stuff and filming it. Please don't forget to press the big button here in the middle to subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you liked what you just saw, please click the like button below and leave a comment letting me know what you liked about it. And as always, thank you for watching.